from Long Island. We are shooting our third episode here in New York with Garen Spendjian and his family. They've welcomed Aram and I, and I'm so happy to be here in your home.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I love the Armenian hospitality. You can never get away from that, and I see that so much in this home. So those of you who watched the Diaspora Diaries, you saw that Garen was a part of that. It was an amazing production with several Armenians from the diaspora. He flew down to LA to be a speaker, and we incorporated his amazing poem. He also mentioned during that interview that he's heavily involved in the community, not just here, but back home as well with Hoops for Hayastan. And I was so excited to have you on the show again, because we only lightly touched on that during the Diaspora Diary. So please tell me, since I saw you a few months ago, what's been going on, how you're feeling, and what's going to happen with Hoops for Hayastan.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, thanks again for having me. It was my honor, my pleasure to come out to LA and, join a great group of Armenians who are doing a lot for Armenia, as well as you for, making our voices be heard with that documentary. That's a weighted question, how I'm doing. Pretty sure I'm doing just as well as every other Armenian is, which is, trying to get by. Every day is a fight. Trying to find different ways on how we could help, on how we could be useful to our country, to our Hayastan, as you know, how important it is to me and my family, and how important, we can be to her, to Armenia. Hoops for Hayastan has a lot. I know I briefly touched on it in the documentary. We've got a lot coming down the pipe. We got a lot of, projects that we're currently working on. Some bigger than others, but some that mean a lot more to me than others. For example, I may have touched on it a bit, maybe behind the scenes when I was chatting with you, but Hoops for Hayastan, if you want, I could break it down again if you'd like. So Hoops for Hayastan, what it is, Hoops for Hayastan is a nonprofit 501c3 organization. The history of Hoops for Hayastan is about four years old, a little longer. My co-founder and my partner and I, Matt Madoyan, when we were on the Armenian national team, we had that, we were blessed, we had that opportunity to represent Armenia. And when we were in Armenia, we noticed, at our practices and at our, team scrimmages, whatever it may be, we saw the kids, younger us, watching us, and some were wearing shorts but flip-flops or jeans and sneakers. No one really had the proper attire, right? No one was really fully equipped. And besides the fact that they looked at us like, what the heck is basketball, right? Because like Armenia is a football, like a soccer, wrestling, combat sports. So when we got back to America, we said, I remember clearly, Matt gave me a call, he said, we got to do something. It's not, we got to do more than just giving our sneakers or socks away after a game or something.
Right. I hope not the used ones.
Yeah. We weren't that sweaty, we didn't play much. No. So we ended up, we got together, we found a way to, get a shoe drive going where we had all these Armenians and non-Armenians, good friends of mine, a friend of mine, Dominic, owns a sneaker store. He was able to collect around 250 shoes for me. So, we bagged them up, went to Armenia, flew them ourselves with a team of ours, and we went to Garbigul. We started off, that was the first village. We got the names of the villages that need them through my cousin Aram in Armenia, who works for another nonprofit organization. And he said, listen, these are the list of schools that you guys should go to. This is who we're working with as well. Went to Garbigul. We saw the look on these kids' faces, and it was like a high. It was like a wow, like this is,
it feels so good.
Yeah, it was like, wow, this feels better than anything in the world. Yeah. So after that, we came home and we had a little promo to show people where their donations are going. So we grew even more and more, 400 shoes, 500 t-shirts, this and that. Our team started to grow. From Matt and I to my brother Aram Spendjian, Viken Sarkisov, and Arakel Aristakesyan, Marcos. And then, Marcos introduced us to Natalie and Claudia Least. And, so it's like a family. It's an organization, but it's a family. We just had a recent fundraiser in January that is going to help our image and our youth in Armenia grow even more. Because at the end of the day, what Hoops for Hayastan wanted to do, we started off with bringing in clothes and shoes and stuff, right? But our mission and our goal grew as we saw, success and potential. Our goal changed where we want to help provide these kids with the same opportunities as we had growing up in America, where if I wanted to go down the street and play basketball at a court, I can. Unfortunately, Armenia doesn't have that.
Right.
So what we want to do is we wanted to renovate gyms in schools, build basketball courts around the villages, whatever it may be, maybe build rec centers where kids could, stay out the streets and play basketball. So that's our vision. So like I said, in January, we started, the two sisters, Claudia and Natalie, came at us with an idea with, listen, everyone's home, everyone's on Instagram Live, everyone's been hammering, Armenians about Armenia. What's a way we could tap into, the non-Armenian market, kind of teach them about Armenia, at the same time collect non-Armenian dollars, because eventually Armenians are going to tap out, from donating.
And we have, yes.
So that's what, the two sisters, they're the brains of this one. Thank God we had them, because this went way over my head. She said, why don't we have an all-star weekend where it's 3 days where we get athletes, we reach out via our network, and we break it out where we have 3 different schedules a day and an Instagram Live fundraiser. We briefly talk about, what's going on in Armenia. We don't want to get too political just in case, whatever happens.
Right. It's more about the children.
Right.
Right.
And we were able to raise close to $50,000 in 3 days with over 28 guests, such as, Damian Lee from the Warriors, Danny Green, who was a Lakers champion last year, who's now in the Sixers. Caitlin Chukadjian. Yeah, this was in January. We had the whole team together. We were in San Francisco. We all got tested before we flew. For anybody that's listening. So with that money, we with $50K plus what we had fundraised throughout the war. Regardless, we had we have a lot on our plate to do. So we sent a lot of money to wounded soldiers or other organizations with what we raised. Like I said, there's some projects bigger than others and some that mean more to me. There's Gevor Babajanyan, he was a soldier, but he was also a Hoops for Hayastan, he was part of our system from Lanjazard. And he was great. We met him as well as we met Aram 777, Aram Haratunyan, his brother Kola, he's been on all those lives. So we met them all in the same summer in Lanjazard, and unfortunately he passed away in war. He was martyred. So in honor of his name, we were building a khachkar in Lanjazard, make sure he lives on forever and he's martyred forever. So to me that's the most important. But aside from that, what we're in talks with the National Paralympic Committee. We're in talks with a lot of rehab centers to provide, I think it's over 2,500 stress balls to help with their rehab for the wounded soldiers to get, we're in talks with several facilities and schools because again, it's for our youth and a lot of schools were damaged. We're in talks with a lot of facilities to renovate the entire gym. And obviously things are prioritized, right? Like to us, thinking of our wounded soldiers and our families, displaced families is important.
Yes.
And that's number one, but we also want to think of the kids in our future because that's who our focus is.
For example, like a lot of times I'm hearing that, one family is getting helped 2 or 3 times and another family is not getting helped at all.
Right.
Or some wounded soldiers are getting a lot of attention and medical care and others are slipping through the cracks. So of course we should help the wounded soldiers. They're extremely important right now, and it is time sensitive because of their wounds or their trauma or the type of treatment they're gonna get. But we're also I feel kind of bad because all the attention or most of the attention is going towards the victims of war, whether they're displaced families or things like that. And there are so many organizations. I just interviewed Pados. We talked to Sam today. We talked to Wounded Warriors. There's so many different organizations. I think that you are really concentrating on kids is so important. Not feeding kids, not clothing kids, definitely like in that sense, or like giving them school supplies, but activities like art, sports, music, things like that is so important for them right now. Perhaps they lost their dad or their uncle or their brother or whatever it is, and it's an escape for them to go play and to enjoy each other and to maybe even not be out in the cold but be inside of a warm gym. So like I want you to really feel good about what you're doing, because this is the future that you're helping. Their children. So, like I said, bolori ra hertin, they're doing it, but this is really, really important. Where do you foresee, or how much time do you foresee it taking to build 1 or 2 gyms?
It depends. It depends on how fast we want to do it. An outdoor court, doesn't take as much effort as it would to renovate.
Indoor.
Because indoor, what you need to do is you have to do the flooring, the roofing, the electricity, whatever it takes. But we're committed to making sure we take all the right steps to get it done as soon as possible. Find the right school, find the right location, what village needs it more than the other. And like you said, there's some villages that were affected more than others with a lot of kids. One village may have lost more parents than another village has. So what village needs it most? So everything has to be taken into account. So hopefully we find the right village, the right school, and we get started immediately as fast as we can.
Okay.
And it's funny you mentioned Paros and Sam. I had a great Paros is fantastic. I had a great conversation with him, and he led me in the right direction. He's been doing this forever. He's been he's paved the way. So I had a notebook full of questions, and I got on the phone with him, and he was able to give me so much advice, as well as Sam and Zach Arman with Koffee. We've been in close contact with them too. And that's what I think is
That's
great.
what's so important, because if you guys don't communicate, you don't know who's doing what.
Exactly.
So Peter, he emphasized that. He said, look, we have to communicate with each other so we know who's helping who, so that we can spread ourselves correctly and equally, in a sense. So I'm very happy that you're talking to them, and you're young, and Peter's a little bit older in age, and there's other people working with him, and there's a team in Armenia. You can have a team here, you can have a team in Armenia. You have so much reach, right?
Yeah, and
because you're tall.
Yeah, that's where the nickname comes in.
Yeah. So, all jokes aside, you have so much potential to grow this and build it with your friends, and you guys can still have full-time jobs, and you guys can still have personal life, and you guys can still do this. So, don't ever feel like it's not enough, because you can always multitask and do that. And it's a phone call, it's a Zoom video that can get it can move mountains. And
we've been doing it for 4 years. We all have full-time jobs. We all make it work. We go to Armenia once a year. We like to aim as a whole team, but sometimes some people can't make it. But that's how we're able to meet these kids. Aram, my brother, Vegan, Margos, Matt. We all went. We've been going to these villages, and it's only for us to rebuild.
We're going to put your website or your Instagram handle or both on this episode, but also I want you to tell our viewers what's the best way to reach you via email or Instagram, so that they can help either with monetary efforts or with money donations or whatever it is to help Hoops for Hayastan.
Absolutely, thank you. You can check our Instagram at hoopsforhayastan. The number 4, hoopsforhayastan, and everything's on there. Our link to our website, our promo videos to see what we do, to see what we've done, as well as Venmos and PayPals and wherever you need, and emails wherever you can, find a way to send any monetary donations. If you want to message us and you have, sneakers that aren't beat up, that are usable to pass on, or shorts or socks or T-shirts. Socks are very important. If you have anything, please message us. We'll send you an address to send to, and we'll make sure and we'll ensure that it goes and it's in the hands.
The right hands.
Yeah, absolutely. And we bring everything ourselves. We deliver.
Okay, good. That's very important. I'm sure they want to know that too.
Yeah, we bring everything.
Let this be like a project for you that you can do forever, as long as you want, and it'll be a source of comfort for you, because you are helping the youth in Armenia. And all you have to do is just lightly even ask anybody, and people are more than willing to help in any capacity. You saw from just the war, this is so much smaller than that, in a sense of we don't need to put that much effort. We can go to Macy's and pick up a bunch of basketball shorts and send it over, or socks or whatever it is. So just know that everybody's more than willing to help in any capacity, and we can amplify our voice a little bit, because I did know about it, but I haven't seen so much traffic on Instagram about it to catch my attention or to repost or share. So I can help you with that, and other people can help you with a lot of other things. But
you mentioned the word youth, and we saw in the war, our youth was affected, the ones that came back and the ones that didn't come back. And I think it's super important to, you know, be there for them and protect them, protect their futures. And, you know, hopefully with Hoops for Hayastan, with our future missions and our goals, you know, our Hoops for Hayastan could be an escape for the future for our kids, because our youth is our future, our youth is our haydanik, and to me that's the most important thing. I also want to say major, you know, shout out and thank you to the team, to my brother Aram, Vegan, Claudia, Natalie, Arakel, but you know, especially Matt, my partner, the co-founder, and therapist for Armenia, and AASMC for connecting us with all the right people. But yeah, I mean, everybody on our team plays such a huge role, and everyone is so good at their own, you know, their own strengths, that, you know, I love each and every one of them. But finally, you know, thank you to the guests that were on our fundraiser that helped us raise 50K. Thank you to our supporters. Thank you to you for amplifying our voices. Thank you to everybody around the world that was open to hearing our message and donating, and, you know, to those amplifying our message and to those amplifying the efforts to donate. There's so much from my heart to Armenia to yours. You know, thank you guys so much. I love everyone that, you know, is there for one another.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you. So we're going to split this episode into 2 parts. Since we are at the Spendjian home, I'm going to interview
the cooler brother,
the other brother, Aram, and he's going to be talking about LORENS.
Yeah.
Okay.
LORENS NYC is a full-service private label garment manufacturing company that introduces apparel brands to Armenia's untapped manufacturing capabilities through quality, garment production, and textile sourcing services. The Spendjian rich family history of textile and garment productions, as well as trade, traces back 6 generations. Selling fabrics to kings, seamstresses tailoring dresses for first ladies, technical directors of weaving and dyeing mills for a whole country, building state-of-the-art factories and establishing buying offices in the Far East in the early 1970s. Now they have combined their family experience with the current manufacturing potential of Armenia. They look to identify and convert potential customers who currently manufacture outside of Armenia. Through increased sources and production, they look to provide jobs and expand the economy of Armenia through their experiences in the garment production industry.
This man over here is Aram. And Aramjan, it's a pleasure to meet you. Garen talks about you all the time, and it's nice to finally put a name with a face, and I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me to your home again.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for coming all the way, you know?
My pleasure.
We're not directly in the city, we're in Long Island, so we appreciate you guys making the trip out here.
Absolutely. It's you know, if you're gonna come to New York or anywhere, just really sink your teeth into it, you know?
Figure out all the boroughs, figure out the islands.
Yes.
I don't know about Staten Island, but this is
Haven't gotten there yet.
Good as it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna take your word for it.
No need.
Okay, so do tell of what you guys are working on right now.
Yeah. As Garen explained earlier, Hoops for Hayastan is a project of his that he started with Matt Madoyan. And aside from that, something else that we're doing for Armenia is we've started a full-service private label garment manufacturing company that focuses on attracting Western and Eastern apparel brands to Armenia's untapped and quality garment manufacturing, production, sourcing capabilities. And so that's what we've been doing for over 2 years now, having visited, vetted, met with different factory owners, different ministries to see what the customs relations are like, what the freight forwarding issues are like, met with UN, EU ambassadors to figure out what the duties are like heading to the United States or whether to Europe. And that's what our main focus has been, as this is something that our family has been involved in for over 6 generations, actually. As I was saying off camera before, our last name, Spendjian, or I'm assuming in Turkish Spendjian or in Old Arabic means garment dye. And it must have kind of trickled down from there. We can actually even trace our family 6 generations back in Constantinople, where we were fez makers. And from there, it evolved into owning our own fabric stores in Egypt after our families left post-genocide. And also from my mom's side, seamstresses for royal families.
Amazing.
And
I hope you guys are documenting all of this.
oh yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
good.
We have an entire archive, entire
Good.
museum. Yeah, it's
That's
on our
amazing.
Instagram
That's
as well. We have
amazing.
old photos, notebooks from when my great-grandfather Aram Dede was in Epinal going to school for fabrics and sewing. We have old diplomas of his graduating from these schools, so it was just kind of meant to be.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah. My father and his great uncle actually were big time visionaries in this industry. My great uncle, being in 1973, actually moved out to Taiwan to open up his first trading office to deal with exactly kind of what we're doing, attracting Western brands to the manufacturing in Taiwan, in Hong Kong, in China. And my father shortly.
What year was this?
73.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's like Nam days.
yeah. My father
gosh.
followed out
I hope
shortly
nobody
after.
mistook it for heroin.
No. No opium here. Unless somebody starts digging around, I don't know.
Totally joking. He's all serious.
Yeah, what is the real reason why he went out there? But my dad shortly after followed in the 80s, early 80s, 1980 to be exact, moved out to Korea to follow suit with what my great uncle was doing.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Wow.
and they were working with companies like Members Only. They were the sole production and sourcing company working on that project. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Members Only jackets. Back in the 80s, they were hot. And so from there, he's built on that experience for over 40 years now. And we slowly got into it, Garen and I, having been around the different companies and stuff where he served as VP of production. And we've grown up either packaging up boxes for salesman samples, sending them to all over the country. And it just grew from there. I got into the design aspect of fashion.
Nice.
And we decided, and something that my father had envisioned at the start of it, that this is something that the Koreas, the Chinas, the Hong Kongs were able to do, being one generation removed from just agricultural workers to being the powerhouses that they are today, all through the light industry, all throughout the late 70s through the 80s, in the 90s even. And he always said, why can't Armenia do this? Why can't Armenia be this?
Isn't that the question all the time with
Exactly.
everything? When it comes to entrepreneurship or building the economy or the war or anything or our military, why can't we be just as advanced? We have the geniuses.
We are honestly no less smart than the Koreas, the Chinas, the Taiwans. We're no less hardworking. We're no less patriotic. Armenia is fully capable of handling this as the production and sourcing in Armenia is at top quality. It's top quality, it's untapped in this market today due to added tariffs on China, which is obviously a regular source that we're familiar with when it comes to garment production. Unfortunately, whether it be for viruses or for Chinese New Year's that come around, a lot of these brands that we're dealing with and talking to are looking for new sources and new outlets to be manufacturing from. And being as though Armenia is so untapped, we feel extremely confident that it is fully capable of becoming the next Asian tiger. And that's our initiative, that's our Nabadag.
Exactly, and I feel like it's almost insulting and it hurts so many people to hear this, but they really don't have a choice. When they have to go to Georgia or Russia or Lebanon to work, like why? Why can't they find work at home? And most men do want to work in factories or big establishments like that where you can hire dozens of men. I don't know how many you want to have.
Even more.
Yeah, maybe hundreds even.
Yeah.
Hopefully. And that would be amazing to see, these gentlemen and women too. Like maybe you'll have a few seamstresses or tailors can be men or women. Lots of men do karigorts. and women do it too.
And there are different responsibilities within a factory. You can be
absolutely.
the print maker or the pattern maker. There are all different types of things that don't just limit you to just being the sewer or whatever it might be.
So how far have you guys gone as far as, you know, that establishment? Is it still in the works? Like,
No.
What's going on?
We are in full communication with several brands. We have a few NDAs signed, so I can't necessarily mention, but I can say brands like Alexander Wang. I can say brands like Rami Brook. So along those lines, that vorag, that quality of brand, which is what Armenia is capable for. And to touch on exactly what you said, the entire point of this initiative is to bring jobs, is to reduce that labor migration, it is to bring money into the country so that we can strengthen the country from within. And that's, we've gone quite a long way, reaching out to these brands like I mentioned. Aside from that, we're in a lot of talks with different Armenians within our community. Aside from just the private label aspect, we're in a lot of communication with Armenian individuals who want to start their own brands, that want to start their own clothing labels, and they really are focused on making in Armenia. And that's what we're helping them with.
On the tag?
Exactly.
Okay,
that's all
that's
we want to see.
Yeah.
That's all we want to see.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great. I love that so much because it's just, you know, a lot of them are just, you know, in bakeries or restaurants, or they're waiters. So many people are waiters or taxi drivers, you know. So people like you and your family, if there can be more of that, I'm very thankful for what you're doing. But if we can inspire people to do more things like that, that would be amazing. In like the next 5 to 10 years, that would make such a big difference.
Honestly, it should be everybody within their respected industry. My dad has a joke that he says that he can barely get 2 sleeves to be the same length, and that's what he's good at. And if he's bringing that, everybody should be bringing whatever else they're good at. Whatever experiences, whatever industries they've been involved with for generations or for whatever it might be.
Knowledge.
Another joke of his is, if they're good at making bowling balls, bring it to Armenia. Who knows, we'll have the next bowling team sponsored there.
Yeah, totally.
But everything should be gearing up and moving in that direction to help support. And it's not a savior complex. We're not going in there thinking, oh, we're here to save our people.
No, it's an opportunity.
It's to work with our compatriots to help grow and strengthen the country, is what it is.
Absolutely. For this episode, I would actually really love to see some footage. If you guys don't have footage, I can very well send someone to record some footage at the factory.
At the factories?
If it's allowed. Like, where is the factory?
We don't own any of the factories, so we serve as a private label. So a private label means, as simple as it is, let's say Ralph Lauren is the brand that we want to approach. We explain to Ralph Lauren that, hey, listen, Armenia is fully capable of handling these denims that you're producing here.
Okay.
Oh, okay, here's a tech pack, or a blueprint in our industry is what it's called. And if your factory that you have contact with, that you know is fully capable of doing so, is able to handle this, then we'll give you guys a shot. And from wherever else they were producing in the past, let's say it be India or China, if they like what they see, if they're comfortable and feel as though the quality of the production from Armenia is up to par with a Ralph Lauren, then they move their production for their denim. Next thing you know, we approach them and say, hey, those t-shirts can be made in Armenia too.
So you're just working with just other
Exactly.
Gadi Gortsadans.
Exactly. And, and there are numerous ones. They're fully capable, specific for
order
denim. As a trading
I thought there
office.
was an actual Lorenz like place.
That's in the works. So there's a couple of phases to the LORENS NYC industry or business. First is that we serve as a private label, which is what I just explained. Within that, we have in-house design. So, like I said, a lot of people who are coming to us, obviously the brands have their own designers, but somebody Armenian wants to make in Armenia, doesn't know exactly what they want to do. We help with the designs in-house. We also work with designers in Armenia. So not only are we lifting up the textile industry on the light side, but also on the designer side as well, because that needs to grow hand in hand. Aside from that, we're also dropping our own label, our own clothing line, which is going to really highlight the vorag, or the quality of the goods as well, which can be used as a tool when approaching brands, and for the sake of just having
you can have
a
your
brand.
samples.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And the name of that is Gumper, GMPR, like the Armenian Highland dog. We thought it was, I like the dog.
Aram's
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah. Oh, you have a Gumper?
Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing.
His name
No
is
way.
Gumper.
It's a good dog name too.
Yeah. A dog named Dog.
Yeah, exactly. Dog named Dog. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And so that's a label that we're looking to launch in July.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
Only for men? Oh.
I guess some of the items are unisex.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Nice.
then and on the third, which is what you were just talking about, is really focusing on Armenia's vertical approach. And by vertical, I mean self-sustaining and
Yeah.
sustainable. Because ultimately, currently, yes, we have the korzarans and the factories to sew the materials.
Right.
Unfortunately, we don't have the factories to weave the fabrics, to spin the yarn, to dye the fabric. We don't have dyeing mills. On top of that, we don't have trims factories for buttons, for rivets, zippers, whatever it might be. That is all imported from outside.
Really?
Yeah, so in order to be more competitive for the outside market, we need to be more vertical and more sustainable, which is another approach of ours. And so that's where Lorens comes in and has established factories of its own. So that's the third phase of Lorens NYC as the umbrella company. Gumper is something that we just finalized designs on, the clothing line.
Clothing line is going to be designed by you guys.
Yep, by me personally.
The name
yeah.
is invented by you guys. It's your brand.
Gumper, yeah.
And you're going to try to manufacture it over there.
Only in Armenia,
Okay.
using sustainable materials,
Okay.
because that's extremely important. And
Right.
quite honestly, the factories that we work with, surprisingly enough, are all geared to be sustainable, because that's extremely important to me as well, and that's kind of my background in sustainability.
Of course.
We need to do the right thing for the environment as well. So we don't want to be producing, I don't know, bad items in a poor way for the environment. So we want to be doing this right. We want to showcase that Armenia has the quality and is capable of doing sustainable production.
Of course, yeah. And when is that launching? Is there a
July.
website? Okay,
July.
perfect.
I'm currently almost done with the website.
Yeah.
We're going to go into like a marketing campaign in like the next couple months.
Great.
Yeah, to showcase the summer collection. And yeah, I mean,
wanna see
it's
some
very
samples.
exciting. Yeah, I have the designs upstairs we can go over after.
Fantastic, fantastic.
You let me know how it looks.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm a vintage expert, but you know,
Yeah,
I still have a
mine-
really good eye.
Some things might be vintage, I don't know. Actually, yeah, La Princesse.
Okay, Aramjan, this was amazing. I'm so happy that, you know, you're just two brothers. Imagine if you guys had more siblings. Like, it really reflects upon your upbringing and your parents, and you know, the type of like discipline and just responsibility that they've instilled, and also that goes with like your interest, like what you're genuinely interested about. Because if you don't care, you're not really gonna push that hard, and work as hard. You know, your dad can crack a whip or whatever, but you're like, I don't want to do it. I want to go work somewhere else, or
Exactly.
whatever it is.
Exactly.
So I'm so glad that you guys are doing two different projects in one household. And you still have so many years of like work ahead of you. You could retire
Knock
like
on
early,
wood.
but yeah, you're young and you have so many years of work ahead of you, and you can be such a good partner for your dad and just grow the business. And you know, this is like a lineage. This is like years of your family's
6 generations
of doing this.
Even before, like I said in the beginning,
Yeah.
our last name, that was an interesting thing. We
Yeah.
asked around so many
Yeah.
people because we understood that anybody with
Yeah.
a ch or a j in their
Yeah.
name, it probably has a Turkish origin. Somebody like labeled that as, I don't know, this person was dyeing garments.
Yeah.
There goes the dharma
Well, that's how
guy.
it used to be, right? Like if
Exactly.
you're John Blacksmith, then you're probably
The
a blacksmith.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, so that's cute. I love that. I love
Yeah.
that they would associate what you do with your last name. So, very cool. We'll give your Instagram handle and then the upcoming website for
Gumper, NYC, yeah.
and then Lorens and everything like that. So, if people want to inquire about it, maybe there's a new designer who is, you know, starting from zero and wants to maybe pick 2 fabrics and make a dress.
Yeah.
So nice
All
of her to
doable.
send that over to Armenia and have
Exactly.
them do it.
Ultimately, like
Because
we
it
said,
could grow.
grow a brand, grow an image, grow the highlight Armenian garment production, and more importantly, bring in jobs, lower labor migration, bring money into the economy, strengthen the country, and we have ourselves a meds hayrenik, not a pokrik hayrenik.
Exactly. More people should be thinking like you, and we do, and we sometimes feel hopeless because of things that are out of our control.
Yeah.
But you know, we can't just say, oh well, you know, since they like we gave so much money and it's all going to corruption or whatever it may be. But we can still build businesses there and do our very best. And if all of us does our very best, at least we could keep sustaining.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
then maybe growing later.
It's not easy. There are obstacles and hurdles in any and everything that you do in life.
Of course.
And it's just about pushing through.
Yes.
It's literally just about wanting to do it and just kind of driving it home. You're going to run into roadblocks left and right.
Of course.
With what's going on in the country, I don't speak on that kind of stuff. What we do is we wake up in the morning, we get into the office, put our heads down, and how can we help Armenia?
Absolutely.
That's it.
Very cool. I love it. Anything you want to close with for this interview? I mean, this was a great introduction. We're going to include some pictures and
Yeah, that'd be cool.
you know, showcase it as much as possible with combining the two interviews together. You know, they go hand in hand.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and let's show the hoops
shirt?
for Hayastan.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's been on the table. It reminds me of Fresh
This is
Prince of
yours.
Bel-Air. Oh, is it?
Yeah, this is yours.
Cool.
Everybody got
That's
a shirt.
Good pajama. I
Yeah,
like it.
exactly. Yeah, this is something that I designed as well
love it.
for the All-Star Weekend that we had in
21?
January. 2021.
Oh,
January
2021.
8th,
Okay, got it. So I know it's from this year.
Yeah, it was
It
themed.
gives me an 80s vibe.
It was actually 95, 96
Oh, okay.
All-Star NBA jerseys, but
Okay.
close enough. 5 years removed from the 80s.
Okay, love.
Yeah.
The 80s kind of like pushed itself onto the early 90s.
I know.
It's like I don't want to let go of, you know,
Yeah, big hair.
crispy hair. Yeah.
No, I'm feeling it. I'm an
Yeah.
89 baby, so I get
Yeah.
to make the cut.
86. Don't
I
tell
was
me.
going to say 92. I was going to say Garen's age.
John, no, thanks. Yeah, good maintenance. Okay, love. We'll wrap up the show with Aram and Garen. Thank you guys so much, and this lovely home that you invited me to. This concludes my trip to New York, but I will come back again soon. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. And until next time, please subscribe and check out Lorens and Hoops for Hayastan.
Yep.